Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting edition of the Netfix. That one-stop shop for everything that's coming to Netflix US. Sorry, Canada. Instant streaming this week. I am one of your hosts, Josh, joined as always by the Hurricane Dodger, Ben. What is up, Ben?
Kwanzaa dudes.
Those are words.
Kwanzaa dudes, surf ninjas, yo.
I see in your video feed there that you got a lot of sunlight pouring in. Not what I expected to see.
It's actually overcast, and that brightness that you see behind me is actually whatever sliver of sunlight's creeping through the big hole in the clouds. It's going to rain pretty soon.
Well, I'm glad everything seems to be going okay, considering your internet stability on a drizzly day, let alone a hurricane coming through.
Yeah. Hurricane Douglas didn't want no piece of COVID-19.
Oh, it has been,
even the Weather Channel were dumbfounded. It's like, it's about to hit the island of Oahu. Well, wait a minute. It's tracking straight northward. Like, what? Oh, man. It was nerve-wracking.
I am definitely going to have to get your help with something after we close out here, because the kids have gotten onto my studio computer and have been, going to their sites, which means now I have all sorts of crazy stuff popping up and...
Oh, boy. Okay. Welcome to the new podcast, The Desk Fix, with Ben and Josh, where we fix your PC desktop.
All these sweepstakes things, man. And I had everything ready to go. All of the tabs, set aside, ready to talk about what's coming up. And now I have no idea, because it like, as soon as I unmuted my microphone, it just went down.
Yikes.
So now I gotta pull everything up again. So I'm just gonna remind everybody that if you like the sound of my voice, you could always listen to more Simicore Studios podcast over at simicorepods.com, or go to simicorestudios.com to learn more about it. Every Saturday night, Ben and I host the Backstage Slam. We just celebrated 202 episodes by talking about factions and kind of where we see things going in the next 5 years. Well, kind of fantasy booking the next 5 years in a way. IRL fantasy booking, not so much, storylines.
I'm listening to the a little sound snippet from our stream. On your end, I think I have to be raised on my volume on Discord, just at, I don't know, like 30%.
30% done?
Yeah. I think that would be like plus 130 on Discord.
How does it sound now?
Pretty close. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that should be good.
All right. Good. Because I'm trying to buy time here. Let's see. Backstage Slam, we talk about wrestling every week, Saturday night, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Hawaiian. Every Friday night's the Wadcast, where Brandon and I not only talk about, but talk to people from the film and television industry. Odd-numbered episodes, it's just us being weird. We definitely showed that this past week when we decided, you know what? We're going to develop a short story on the air. And we did that, but we also developed a Bond movie and apparently a spoof of Indiana Jones. So we got some work done. And, of course, every Monday, it is the Netfix, which you can find right here. All shows 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Hawaiian. With all of that being said, welcome to the Netfix, where we are going
You
to
know
talk
what?
about what's coming on Netflix this week. What's up, man?
You know what movie mashup I have always wanted but never had a chance for it to happen?
What's that?
If they fused the scary movie series with Leslie Nielsen's Naked Gun, I think it'll be absolutely hilarious.
So Frank has to fight on the Ghostface guy from Scary Movie?
Mm-hmm. Whatever the scary movie theme of the antagonist is, he's the he's the slapstick protagonist.
Okay. That
I would
be
I
pretty
would
funny.
love to see that.
Seeing Frank Drebin under the direction of the Wayans.
Mm.
Things will get weird pretty quick. As we saw specifically when they had Dr. Phil on. With Dr. Phil and Shaq doing the Saw spoof.
Yeah.
Before we get into what's coming, how about we talk about what we've been doing on Netflix? Ben, it's recommendation time. And I know you have yours all ready to go. Why don't you give us your Netflix original pick of the week?
All right. I've been waiting for this since it was announced 2 years ago. It is a trilogy of animated movies about the Transformers series. This is called Transformers: The War for Cybertron trilogy. This is basically the origin story of the entire Transformers universe. And it goes as the Autobots and the Decepticons ravage their planet in a brutal civil war. Two iconic leaders emerged in the Transformers universe's origin story. And those two heroes, or those two iconic leaders, are, Josh, do you know who they are?
Say again?
Do you know who those two iconic leaders in the Transformers universe are?
Nah, that would be Optimus Prime and Megatron.
There you go. So
See,
I can't
know a thing or two. That sounds like it's going to be pretty rad.
Oh yeah. So if it's anything like the Godzilla anime trilogy, we should get all three films in less than a year, just a couple of months spread out between each. Assuming, of course.
And this ties into what exactly?
This is the origin story of the Transformers being redone.
Okay, so it doesn't
modern
necessarily tie to G1 or the films or anything, just...
No.
Okay.
Just the brand Transformers in general. A modern take on the retelling of the origin story of the Transformers. Should be pretty dope.
Well, my recommendation for Netflix original is going to be tied to, once again, something that we both hold very dear to our hearts, and that's, of course, professional wrestling. So my Netflix original recommendation is Glow, the TV series that is kind of based on the gorgeous ladies of wrestling. Well, it's based on it, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's 100% factual. But Allison Brie, Betty Gilpin, Mark Maron is great. If you're a wrestling fan, you're going to recognize some people, especially some siblings going on here. Essentially, it's about the origin and execution of the gorgeous ladies of wrestling. Mark Maron being, I'd say, B-film director, is tasked to put together this women's promotion, because sex sells, right? And if a bunch of gorgeous women, wrestling each other isn't, I guess hot, this is what they were going for, then, you know what? I don't know. But it is a tremendous show. I'm surprised it hasn't gotten much more love than than the little bit it has gotten from, say, awards time, ceremonies and whatnot. I'm pretty sure it's been nominated for a couple of Emmys. But Alison Brie does a tremendous job in here, and it is definitely worth a watch. If you're into semi-biographical, fictional accounts of women's wrestling federations, or B, if you're into wrestling, or C, if you like Mark Maron, and I guess D, if you just like good shows. Definitely check out Glow. Bring us a movie, Ben.
This is a 2017 movie that I never heard of and wasn't aware of until two nights ago when I was doing research on what to recommend for today's podcast. And it is a comedy called Killing Hasselhoff. The synopsis reads as a struggling nightclub owner resorts to desperate measures in order to pay off a loan shark by entering a celebrity death pool and tries to murder a famous celebrity for only $500,000. Starring Ken Jeong, David Hasselhoff, and Jim Jeffries. If this movie plays out the way that it's just described, I'm going to be laughing my A off.
Say that title
Have you
again?
seen this? Killing Hasselhoff.
No, I haven't seen it. I've heard of it. It's been kind of on the peripherals of my watching, but I haven't seriously considered watching it.
Reading some
not until
reviews.
now.
Yeah, reading some of the reviews, it seems like it has like a little cult following.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. I mean, I've been watching some really weird stuff lately. So this if you only knew the stuff I was watching today, man.
Did you see the trailer for Kevin Smith's new horror film?
Kevin Smith has a new horror film?
Yep, starring Chris Jericho and some other people from the View Askew series.
How did this completely escape my attention?
I think the trailer came out at like 2 a.m. this morning. Like 14, 15 hours ago.
Seriously, I'm about as big a Kevin Smith fan as he gets. Kilroy was here?
Yep.
Huh. How did I miss this? And it's shot in Florida? Where was I?
You check it out the trailer, or are you going to check it out after?
I'm going to check it out after. I just had to see what was going on. Wow. Okay. I'm going to have to add that to my Letterboxd watch list. My film recommendation is it's one I have been. How do I put this? I've been telling everybody about this since I've watched it. And I've only watched it because you recommended it here last week on the Netfix. And I'm talking about Ip Man. I can't thank you enough, man. I watched in 2 days 5 movies based on... Well, 4 based on this character, one's a spinoff. Which, by the way, again, going back to our roots, co-stars Dave Bautista.
Yep.
Which, could be one of his best film roles to date. And I'm including Drax and whoever he played in that James Bond movie. And, of course, My Spy. Which I watched recently.
Mr. Jinx was his name? Something like that?
I think so. But I could recommend the entire film series of Ip Man, but I'm just going to talk about the first one, starring Donnie Yen, directed by Wilson Yip. Essentially, it opens up pre-World War II China, and martial arts, kung fu, and please correct me if I'm wrong anywhere here, Ben. It's more of, I don't want to say it's a status symbol as much as a way of life. And there is kind of a hierarchy about where you stand depending on how well or how good you are.
Yep.
So, the story opens with another one of the schoolmasters, challenging him. But everything's super friendly, and they aren't trying to hurt each other. They aren't trying to humiliate each other. It's just friendly competition among, martial arts masters. Until, of course, that gang comes to town, and then the Japanese army comes to town. And one of the things that held me off from watching these movies was I had in the back of my mind those old kung fu flicks, with the cheesy sound effects and the bad dubs. And essentially, this isn't that. Okay? This is... It's kind of like the origins of that, but like you could see how those movies were derived from these situations. But this is more grounded. Yeah, it's not 100% based in reality. And I mean that fight scene wise, because there's still some, there's still wire work. And definitely not biography wise, since upon doing further research on this person, found out, essentially he exists, but his real life didn't quite follow these parallels. I mean, it hit some story beats, but that's basically it. The thing to remember
he also appears younger in the movies in reality, where Ip Man 4, like he's already grayed out in reality when all that stuff goes down with Bruce Lee and all that.
I didn't even mention that part, by the way. If you're interested in Bruce Lee, long story short, these movies are about the guy that trained him, more or less.
Bruce Lee's master, his Shifu.
So, I recommend Ip Man. I recommend the series, but I'm going to say, start off with the first one and continue on from there if you feel you're into it. So, Ben, give us a TV series to watch.
Right. This week is a little bit lackluster. Just from looking at what's going to be coming out that didn't really catch my interest. So I went back up on a list to see something that interests me. And there is a Japanese anime that came out way back in 2008 that I have not watched yet. I ended up watching the first 2 episodes online, the Japanese version of it. And I can say that it's quite up my alley. It's one of those ecchi comedies, raunchy style comedies. So it's called Toradora, and the synopsis reads as: though fierce in appearance but gentle at heart, mislabeled delinquent Ryuji forms an unlikely friendship with Taiga, a tiny girl with a sharp tongue and a tough attitude. Both considered to be the school's top bullies by their classmates, together they try to help each other confess their love to their respective crushes. So it's very funny. It's a very sexual innuendo in high school type of comedy type of anime, where a woman slips on a piece of candy wrapper and it shows her panty line or whatever. So if you're into that type of anime, when you want a good laugh, not suitable for children, of course. Yeah, I go ahead and recommend that. I really enjoy the first 2 episodes of it. So hopefully there is English dubbing on this, because I need a break from reading subtitles. I have a headache.
I'm going to add just the opposite note for it, man, real quick. Watch with the subtitles. Please. You'll do us all a favor if you watch it with the subtitles. Because then, just as an example, if you're watching it with the subtitles, you're going to hear the tone of Ip Man be like, hello, Master. Thank you for letting me win. If you're watching it with the dub, you'll hear like, hello, Master. Thank you for letting me win. It's very off-putting, so much so that my 11-year-old was like, thank you, when I turned off the dub and switched it over to the subtitles.
Why does everybody sound like they're from Southern California in this movie, Dad?
It was bad. It was so bad. Well, my TV recommendation is a bit of a cop-out because it's something that everybody already knows and everyone should already be watching. But because it's so good, I just want to make sure that it is represented on one of my lists at some point. So here it is. This week, my television recommendation is Better Call Saul. In case you are not familiar with Better Call Saul, and if for some reason over the last decade you've been hiding out, hiding from the police, and you haven't had access to pop culture, this is a spin-off of Breaking Bad, a show created by Vince Gilligan about a science teacher turned meth creator, and he, in Breaking Bad, meets a lawyer named Saul Goodman. This is kind of Saul's origin story. It's a spin-off series. So Better Call Saul is that. Bob Odenkirk and Jonathan Banks made themselves extremely memorable in Breaking Bad. And revisiting these characters in this spin-off, it's something else, man. Seeing, how their relationship started and knowing what's going to happen to them in the long run is, it makes the little scenes all the more emotional when you're watching Better Call Saul. So that's why I'm going to recommend. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen Breaking Bad, so that's a given. If you haven't watched it, you should be watching that. But definitely Better Call Saul. It is worth the time, and in some people's cases, people are actually enjoying it more than Breaking Bad. I know it's a mind melter, but imagine being Vince Gilligan. You're the mind behind two of the greatest dramas ever on television. That's a guy that can write his own check. So, Better Call Saul. Whew. Wow. I thought that was going to not take as long as it did. Well, you know what we do here? We talk about the stuff that's coming to Netflix, instant streaming in the U.S. over the next 6-ish days. We're going to get to that in a second. But because the first falls within this window, and I feel it important to also let you know what's leaving Netflix, so you have just a few days to catch these before they're gone. For how long? I don't know. They could be gone for a month, they could be gone for 2 months, or they could be gone forever. There's just really no way of telling. So, go ahead and get ready to write down these titles that you don't want to miss. All of these are leaving on the 1st. As good as it gets. It just seems like we were just talking about that coming. Back to the Future trilogy. All of them gone on the 1st. And that's a shame. Below Her Mouth. Did not realize that was a title on Netflix. Blackheart. 1 season. Boyka, Undisputed. Can't Hardly Wait. classic teen coming-of-age story about a party. Care Bears, Welcome to Care-a-Lot, Season 1. Gone. Casper, the 1995 Christina Ricci, Devon Sawa flick. Gone. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Of course, that's the Tim Burton version of that story. So, okay, that's gone. Chernobyl Diaries. This next one hurts my heart because I love this series. And it should have been a recommendation for me a while back. But now, it's going to be gone. Comedy Bang Bang. Love Comedy Bang Bang. It's a great show. Dance Flick, gone. Drillbit Taylor, gone. E.T., gone. Freedom Riders, gone. Godzilla, the 1998 version, gone. Guess Who? The weird remake of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner with Ashton Kutcher and Bernie Mac. Hancock, Will Smith's attempt at a superhero movie. Hitch, another Will Smith title. Both of them gone. Hoagie the Globehopper, Season 1, gone. Jarhead, Jarhead 2, and Jarhead 3. Open season. QB1 Beyond the Lights. Ramayan, Season 1. Resident Evil Extinction. Romeo Must Die. Jet Li movie. Pretty good. Salt. Scary Movie 2. We were just talking about Scary Movie. The 1971 Shaft. That's gone. Searching for Sugar Man. Sex and the City 2. Gone. Stuart Little. Remember Michael J. Fox, the voice of Stuart Little in that one? And yep. Hugh Laurie, I believe, is in that. If I'm not mistaken. The Edge of 17. That was a pretty good movie. You should definitely check that out. The Pianist. That is Adrian Brody, World War II. Directed by, I know this one, Roman Polanski, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to bug me if I don't. Yes, Polanski. Okay, nailed it. The Pursuit of Happiness, yet another Will Smith title. I guess Netflix is parting ways with Will too. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought I tried to have some topical, dark humor in there, but it failed. And I acknowledge that, and I apologize. The Saint, 1997 film based on the TV show starring Val Kilmer. Excellent work by Kilmer. Poor job done as a movie. The Witch Files. 1996 Twister. Excellent. Best tornado movie ever. This one hurts because the kids wanted to watch it just the other day. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. That is the good version of the Willy Wonka story. Starring Gene Wilder. And Vroomies Season 1 is gone. This is all gone on the 1st. And on the 2nd is Skins Season 7. That's leaving on the 2nd.
Wow, Skins has been on Netflix for a long time.
I'm sorry. 7 seasons are going to be gone.
Wow.
All 7 seasons gone on the 2nd. So you have an extra day to catch that if you haven't watched it yet. Which brings us to the reason why this show exists. To let you know what is coming over the next 6 days. This episode is going to cover until the 1st. No, the 2nd. We're going to cover to the 2nd. Since the 3rd's on Monday, we'll be back on Monday to talk about everything coming after the 3rd. So, tonight's list starts on the 28th, since nothing new is being shown tonight. On the 28th, tomorrow, Inside the World's Toughest Prison, Season 4. If you've been into docuseries about prisons, by all means, you're in for a treat tomorrow when Season 4 of Inside the World's Toughest Prisons comes to Netflix instant streaming US. Jeopardy! Collection 6. It is a collection of the 2016 College Championship. So Jeopardy fans, rejoice, because Jeopardy's adding new episodes to Netflix. Season 5 of Last Chance U, Netflix original series covering football teams in the U.S. This year, it's Laney. So that does it for the 28th. The 29th, it's, it's Her Day. It's an Hollywood rom-com, as it's listed here on whatsonnetflix.com. Also on the 29th, Retablo, 2017 film, dramatic film about a young man wanting to follow in his father's footsteps to being a storybox maker. Shine Your Eyes, 2020 Brazilian movie. The Hater, 2020 Netflix original Polish thriller. The Speed Cubers. It's a documentary coming out on the 29th, Wednesday, about Rubik's Cube solvers. There's a documentary about that. Tread. It's a documentary on a man who fortified a bulldozer and went on a rampage. I'm pretty sure you remember that story.
Oh, yeah.
Quite the ordeal when it happened in real life. And here's a documentary about it. Unlucky Ploy Season 1. New episodes every week. It's a remake of the Korean comedy / drama. Do you know anything about Unlucky Ploy?
I think the drama went by a different name, and it has been remade several times. Josh, here's the thing about Korean dramas. If it gets high ratings and it's generally loved by everybody, we do another Korean remake within 10 to 15 years. And if that does good, then Japan adopts it, Thailand adopts it, Vietnam adopts it, turns it into their own series, and China. So there's a lot of dramas around Asia that are remakes of Korean dramas.
So you're saying recycling material isn't just a Hollywood thing?
Nope. It's just
well, who would have thought?
It's just that in my opinion, sometimes Asia does it better. It's just that nobody knows much about it, or it's because of the language barrier.
Yeah, I can attest to that. On the 30th, Pirates Who Don't Do Anything, a VeggieTales movie, is coming. Netflix original animated special. The Story of Us, 1999, film starring Bruce Willis and Michelle Pfeiffer, rom-com, directed by Rob Reiner. Rob Reiner, a terrific director. And as you mentioned before in your recommendations, Transformers War for Cybertron, Siege, Season 1 Netflix original animated kid series, coming on the 30th. And since we have 31 days in July, guess what? More stuff on the 31st. Get Even, Season 1. It's a British teen thriller series, Netflix original. Also a Netflix original, Latte and the Magic Waterstone. It's an animated feature film from 2019. Seriously Single, African comedy. The Speed Cubers. Wait, is that listed twice? Yeah, I guess it is. It's either coming out on the 31st or the 29th. Unless The Speed Cubers is just a documentary short and the other one's a feature length. Don't know why that would be a thing. The Umbrella Academy Season 2 is finally coming on the 31st.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Still haven't finished the first season, if I'm being perfectly honest. And finally, on the 31st, Vis-a-vis El Oasis. It's a Spanish prison drama.
Normally, I would see stuff on YouTube and Twitter. And I even follow the U.S. and North America Netflix Twitter accounts, and there's hardly any buzz or press on Umbrella Academy Season 2. I hardly seen anything at all.
No, I've been seeing it constantly. But I sort of have to, I guess. It's kind of what I do, you know? Okay. I wish I had a sound effect for this. Maybe I do have a sound effect for this. Hold on. Let's see. No. Yeah, try this. It's a bell. Yeah, I don't like it.
Ding dong.
Laugh track. Okay. Then I'm going to try this one. Okay, you know what time it is. Big round of applause, big round of applause. That's right. Just like a wrestling match, it's getting piped in. It's time for the drop. What's the drop, you ask? Well, every month, Netflix has a big drop on the first. And since we're about to talk about the first, it's time for the drop. Here's what's coming to Netflix. Instant streaming in the US or Canada on the first. And generally, as a rule, that's when the majority of the non-original stuff drops, especially as far as movies are concerned. So most of you are probably eager to hear about what's coming up. And I will not keep you waiting any longer. On the first, A Knight's Tale. The Heath Ledger Knight movie. Where they sang, "We Will Rock You" in the stands. Yeah, that's the one. This was before Heath Ledger was the Joker, but after he was amazing in 10 Things I Hate About You. So, yeah, this is basically where people said, Heath Ledger's going to be the Joker? What? And then he went ahead and blew them all away. Acts of Violence, 2018 Bruce Willis film, is also coming out on the 1st. An Education, 2009 film, coming-of-age drama set in 1960s London. Love period pieces. Being John Malkovich, 1999 Spike Jonze film that literally dives into the mind of John Malkovich. If you have not watched this should go straight to the top of your viewing watch list. It's a must-see. Death at a Funeral. It says it's unclear which version it is. 1993 Dennis the Menace. You remember that movie?
Yep.
Elizabeth Harvest, 2018 horror thriller from Sebastian Gutierrez. Another amazing movie. If you want to see how a screenplay should be written, this is definitely one to check out. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Jim Carrey, Kate Winslet. It is a great, great movie. And the way some of the special effects were shot, I don't want to say cheaply, but definitely budget conscious. It's a work of art. It's beautifully done. Hardcore Henry, the experimental action film that's shot entirely in first person. So it's almost like you're playing a game, but you're watching a movie. Iron Man Armored Adventures, the first 2 seasons. It's Iron Man as a teenager. I'm not really sure what more to say about that. Jurassic Park 2 and Jurassic Park 3. The first Jurassic Park trilogy, I guess. All of them will be available on the first. Killing Hasselhoff, as mentioned in Ben's recommendations, coming on the first. Yeah. Mad Max, the original Mad Max, is coming, starring Mel Gibson. It's just weird because, I have HBO Max and they have, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome and Mad Max 2, but no, they don't have the original Mad Max. So on the first, I'll be able to watch that and do a proper binge of the Mad Max series. Mr. Deeds, the 2002 Adam Sandler movie about, getting money and not losing yourself in the process. My Perfect Landing, Season 1. It's a Canadian family series about a family of gymnasts. So, gymnast fans. You're going to see a family of gymnasts from Canada doing flips and stuff. Nagi Asu, A Lull in the Sea, Season 1. It's an anime about middle schoolers leaving the ocean to attend school on land.
It's pretty good.
Yeah?
It's pretty good. Yep, it's pretty good.
Nights in Rodanthe, 2008 film, starring Richard Gere and Diane Lane. It's a romance set in North Carolina. Oceans 13 and 12. Well, it's an Oceans movie. There's going to be a heist. I'm pretty sure you get the idea.
Yeah.
Operation Ouch, Season 1 plus the special, is a British docuseries looking to the world of medicine and biology. Power Players Season 2 is a animated series of various toys coming to life and battling it out. That sounds pretty flippin' rad to me. Remember Me, it's a 2010 movie starring Batman and Robert Pattinson. Rogue Warfare: The Hunt. This is an interesting description from what's on Netflix.com. War porn set in the Rogue franchise has an impressive IMDb score of 2.9.
Repeat what you said?
Quote, war porn set in the Rogue franchise has an impressive IMDb score of 2.9.
Ooh. Somebody trolling? I don't know. Wow. You're a listener to the Netfix. We need one of our viewers to check that out for us. See if it's accurate by the description or not.
It stars Gina De Cesari, Assam Ferris, Bertrand Corby, Stephen Lang, Chris Mulkey, directed by Mike Gunther.
I only know the name Stephen Lang. He would have made a perfect Cable in the X-Men movie universe.
Yeah, he has that look. So, not sure what they're going for with that description. But Seabiscuit, 2003, starring Spider-Man, is a sports drama about a horse. Tobey Maguire, I'm talking about. Super Monsters, The New Class, 2020 Netflix original. It's a Netflix special for the Super Monsters franchise. I don't know what that is. The Addams Family just says live action Halloween classic. I think The Addams Family deserves a little more love than that. It is the remake based on the TV show, the movie remake based on the TV show, starring Christina Ricci, Raul Julia, Christopher Lloyd, Angelica Houston. It is a wonderful movie. When it comes to actually doing right by your characters and doing right by your story and recreating something that, I mean, let's face it, the original Addams Family was like lightning in a bottle as far as making something so kitschy kind of fun. And they nailed it with a movie. It has such a Burton-esque vibe. But it's directed by Barry Sonnenfeld. The Addams Family, if you haven't watched it, it's required viewing just to be alive.
Ricci was my very first teen crush.
One of mine as well. And it's one that I continue to this day. I'm not saying that's the only reason I watch your movies. I'm just saying it doesn't hurt.
Almost outed yourself there. I'm kidding.
Speaking of which, The Neverending Story and The Neverending Story 2 are coming to Netflix. Again,
Atreyu!
Must see if you're growing up. If you have kids, sit them down and watch The Neverending Story. You're all going to have fun.
Atreyu!
And you'll finally understand why there's so many kids named Atreyu now.
And I'm not talking about the heavy metal band Atreyu.
The Ottoman Lieutenant is a World War I movie about a love story between an American nurse and a Turkish officer. 2017 flick. The Ugly Truth, 2009 romantic comedy starring Katherine Heigl and Gerard Butler. Toradora. I seem to recall somebody talking about that a little bit earlier. It's an anime series about a boy trying to get close with his crush. Transformers Rescue Bots Academy Season 2 is going to be out on the 1st. And finally, What Keeps You Alive, the horror thriller from Colin Mahan, is going to be out. We are going to move right into the 2nd, because there are only a couple times here. Almost Love is a 2018 film that follows a group of New Yorkers in their romantic and professional lives. Connected, Season 1, Netflix docuseries presented by Latif Nasser, looking into how we're connected to each other. I'm pretty sure there's more to it than that. Pick of the Litter is a 2018 documentary on puppies and their journey to become guide dogs. So, yeah, puppies. Who doesn't love puppies? Everybody loves puppies.
Yes.
Well, that does it for everything that's new. You have been informed, ladies and gentlemen. And just, I'm going to throw this in there. Like 5 minutes before airtime, I was watching Netflix. And I timed it out right, so, I'd have a few minutes to pull everything together. And make sure
a little worried you might have forgotten about the podcast, because I was like, it's 4:01 and he hasn't contacted me yet. Should I message him?
And when you messaged me, I had just hit play and started the music, because I was like, I guess Ben's not going to be able to make it tonight, and that storm must be hitting harder than I thought. But everything seemed to work out well. But I gotta say, I watched this movie, and I don't know what to make of it. It's called A Simple Man. No, A Serious Man. It's called A Serious Man. And please tell me, Ben, I honestly need some help here. I need your opinion. It's a film that's very well acted, very well written, and shot beautifully. Right? It's a Coen Brothers thing. And generally, as a rule, I love all their work. But for this, I was like, oh, it's like an hour and 47 minutes of like literally nothing happening except this guy's alive and has some rough patches. Nothing is really played for the joke. spoilers, there's no resolution to anything. I don't know what to make of it. And I don't know whether to rate this based off the merits. Because if it's based on the talent behind putting the film together, the actors who are all stellar, and, you know, the cinematography, which was excellent. But the story, I don't get it.
For the morose? By the morose? Or something?
I don't know. It's not even depressing. He's essentially this guy that life just keeps taking a dump on him. His kids are, you know, disrespectful. They're not, you know, outright defiant. They just very self-centered. His wife is leaving him, and the guy she's leaving him with, like, shows up and gives him hugs, and he's like, "We're gonna be okay. We're gonna get through this." And it's like, what? And then there's the thing with Columbia House where they're after him. His brother's staying with them. And just, the guy's having a pretty bad run. And he seeks out advice from rabbis who, again, spoilers, offer him no help whatsoever. Other than, here's the story. And he's like, what does it mean? And they're like, oh. So he's just had a bad patch and no one's there to help him. And the ending is like abrupt. You don't know. I just I just don't know what to make of it.
Is it supposed to be like a story that's supposed to be more relatable for a quote unquote, or air quotations, normal human being, where there isn't a, you know, where the ending isn't, you know, like a, you know, a typical, some good resolution happened, there's a moral to it, or it had a very bad happening, oh, it was tragic, if only he had lived his life a little bit different. But maybe they're trying to strike a chord with everybody who's currently having problems and still have problems, or something like that. Like, hey, you know, like, life isn't fair, and you just got to deal with it.
See, that's what I'm thinking. Because there's no rhyme or reason to the ending, and from what I've seen, no one learns anything throughout this movie. There's no lesson. There's no character development, really. And if anything, he's definitely worse off than when he started. So, I don't know. I've been trying to figure out what to rate it, and the average is a 3.8
Out of
807 fans have rated it out of 5.
Sounds like a lot of people who can't make sense of the film, but give credit to everyone that's involved, kind of like you did.
Maybe I just missed a lot of metaphors. This review says, this is by Laird on Letterboxd. Fiddling with the aerial doesn't always make the signal more clear. The cat is both dead and not dead. Clive understands the dead cat, but not the math. It's a reference to the film. The man in the prologue is or isn't a Dybbuk, which, by the way, just seemed... I guess I can see how that connects to the Schrodinger's cat story. The bookends suggest an unbroken cycle that may or may not relate to what characters have and haven't done, except the mystery. There's a good piece of dialogue. We can't know everything. It sounds like you don't know anything. Why even tell me this story? First I should tell you, then I shouldn't. Whew. Even though you can't figure anything out, you will be responsible for it on the midterm. So it's kind of telling me in the movie it doesn't make any sense. And they're aware that it doesn't make any sense. But apparently the point is it doesn't make any sense. Which I guess is an allegory for life.
They could use the perfect excuse. This movie is left to determine by the viewer. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense.
Someone asked the Coen brothers, "So, A Serious Man, what did it mean? What did it mean to you?"
I don't know, man.
What did it mean to you? What did it mean to you?
I got a documentary ready to hit play on in a little while.
You want to give us the title real quick?
Okay. Well, I've been following this Korean content creator on YouTube called her name is Sarah Ryu, or Sarah Ryu, and she does content and on YouTube, on her YouTube channel, in both Korean and in English. And it wasn't until like 8 months that I've been following her, because I was looking at a whole bunch of dramas, and she was reviewing K-pop and K-dramas on her channel at that time. But I didn't know that she used to be a K-pop star way back in the day, like like around 2010. So I did some research on her, and then come to find out she was part of arguably one of the legendary Korean girl groups called the Nine Muses. And I did not know that she was one of them. So, I was like checking out their history on Wikipedia and everything, and I found like they did a documentary of it. Apparently it's got raving reviews, and it actually shows. Josh, remember when you and I were talking, after I came back sick and we were watching all those K-pop videos together about, how in order to people to become K-pop idols, they got to start off really young. They get put through like this brutal trainee system and all that stuff. Well, this goes to show these 9 young ladies going through that, and all sorts of stuff happened to them behind the scenes that were rumors at that time. And all of this bad stuff didn't come out until like almost a full decade, or like 5, 6, 7 years later, after they all disbanded. That really shocked the K-pop industry to its core. And I did not know that they have made a documentary about the 9 muses of Star Empire. And I have the link to it on YouTube, and I'm going to tweet it out right before I start watching it. If you're interested, I can give you the link to it on Discord right now.
And that sounds like something that I would definitely want to check out.
And that screenshot right there. Yep, that screenshot right there, that's Sarah.
There you are.
From YouTube. And I will also link you her YouTube channel. And she does really good content too. She just recently got her YouTube play button. So that's her channel right there. And as you can tell, if you look at that picture and how she is now, she looks like she didn't age at all.
Oh, you can't see me nodding. Okay, yeah. All right, I'm definitely going to check that out. By the way, if you want to join our conversations, especially when it comes to professional wrestling, don't forget to check out the Yobro MMO Discord. Hit us up. Also, Simicore Studios on Facebook. Give it a like. That's where I, keep everybody up to date. At Skid Comic on Twitter. At Simicore Studios on Twitter. Just, drop a line. And if you're a person that downloads the show, please rate, review, subscribe. Let the algorithms know that this right here is your favorite show about Netflix on the interwebs. But if it's your least favorite show on Netflix, let them know that too. Let us know. And we can...
Bring back Disjointed!
What I meant to say was, I hope everybody has a good night. Hope everybody has a good week. And, I get to say it now. I get to say it.
Wants you, dudes.
Cinema du Fromage returns to indieradio.org on the 30th, I want to say. And for those of you that are unaware, Cinema du Fromage is kind of like my other show, Film Freaks, where a few of us get together, we watch a movie, and then we talk about it. In Cinema du Fromage's case, it's generally a cheesy film, and this week's film is They Live, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, that might be next week's. Crap. Well, follow my Twitter, and I will definitely be sharing that with you. In the meantime, I want to play the music, and we're going to get out of here.